Welcome to the overview presentation for the Tracking and Evaluation core. The purpose of this presentation today is to talk a little bit about what functions the TAEC serves and a little bit more about who we are. So starting off with our team structure, we have Dr. Richard Van Eck as the director of the TAEC, and then we have Dr. Ralph Renger and myself as affiliated core consultants out of Just Evaluation Services, who serve as kind of a secondary role to Dr. Van Eck. So starting us off a little bit today, what is evaluation? So, the traditional definitions are that evaluation is systematic assessment of the design, implementation, or results of an initiative for the purposes of learning or decision making. So in the DaCCoTA context, what that really means is we're assessing not only the functioning of the DaCCoTA system itself, so all the different moving parts, how all the different cores work together, but also how that contributes to outcomes that we're looking for our awardees, and then also for all DaCCoTA sponsored initiatives. So our evaluation approach really integrates a lot of systems thinking. You can see in the graphic here, we try to look at, how different things are interconnected, how all of our parts work together to form, the whole DaCCoTA picture. And then really moving away from kind of this isolationist sort of approach into really how we all are working together and the different relationships between all the different people affiliated in the DaCCoTA. So more specifically, the TAEC assesses quite a few things. The first is we provide data to the NIH, baseline data, mandatory data to ensure that we're compliant with all the grant requirements. We also, like I mentioned earlier, assess DaCCoTA processes, so the function of DaCCoTA procedures and personnel, with the ultimate goal of increasing efficiency and improving the awardee experience. So we also assess DaCCoTA outputs and outcomes, right? So the result of those processes, what are those? So we determine whether DaCCoTA goals are being met as intended, and then this larger kind of goal of how the DaCCoTA is contributing to increasing researcher self-efficacy among our awardees, right? The ability to feel confident in your grantsmanship and your abilities as a researcher to be able to secure future funding. So as an awardee of the DaCCoTA, when will you hear from the Tracking and Evaluation core? So you won't interface with us as frequently as you might with, the CRRFC or the PPP or the PDC, but you will hear from us a couple times. So at the start of your project period, we'll ask you to complete this kind of baseline researcher self-efficacy survey. And then annually thereafter, we'll also ask you to complete that survey. So every year that you're a DaCCoTA awardee and you have funding, we ask you to complete that so we can kind of measure your change over time. And then also every year we reach out for awardee interviews. Some of you may be familiar with this. It's really just a process for us to gather more information about your experience in the DaCCoTA, what things are working well, areas you might want more support. So it's really just an open forum for you to provide that feedback, which we then use to make those continuous improvements to the DaCCoTA. So if you'd like to learn more about the Tracking and Evaluation core or how our work has kind of furthered the practice of evaluation more generally, I've listed our representative publications below. There's kind of 4 of our most recent articles integrating our lessons learned from evaluating the DaCCoTA specifically. So, these are all, good source reading material if you'd like to learn more. Also, feel free to contact us if you have any questions about, the functions of the TAEC or would like more information about what we do. The emails for our director, Dr. Richard Van Eck, and then for Dr. Ralph Renger and myself are listed right there. And, if there's any other information, please feel free to reach out. Thanks, everyone.